welcome back to Nerdly Out Loud, the official channel of nerdly.co.uk, your favourite British home for all of your news, reviews, and exclusive interviews. We like to cover everything from the big budget to the low budget to the no budget, from movies to games to comic books, a little bit of wrestling, which is what we've got coming up. You will have noticed I have started dropping some wrestling content. I've been getting into the Impact Zone, so to speak, and interviewing some of their guys. I'm a massive wrestling fan, and it's something I've not really had a chance to shout out about a lot on these channels because I mostly stick towards the movie side of things, the independent movie side of things. When it comes down to it, I'm going to cover everything I want to because that's what Nerdly is, and that's what this channel is. We like to cover everything from pop culture. So that's what we're going to do. I got more stuff incoming, and I do apologize for my slight hiatus over the last couple of weeks. It has been a bit of a testing time. Real life has been getting in the way, work has been getting in the way, and family has been, well, it's been a little bit strange. I'm not going to bother you with those details because that's not what you're here for. You're here for the pop culture nerdly stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give away, the title of the episode gives it away, but I'm going to stick this little bad boy down here because I'm super impressed and happy with myself. Yes, I'm absolutely buzzing with this. The interview that is coming up on this episode is an interview with Impact Wrestling legend Eddie Edwards. Eddie Edwards is just awesome. He's been in the game for so long, and this is a guy that if you liked Impact back in the day, if you like Impact now, Eddie is 100% on the forefront of that. The good years, the bad years. As you will hear me say in the interview, I don't necessarily look back at them as bad years. I just call them the in-between years. The Dixie, the Smashing Pumpkins, the Billy Corgan years. It was all good. I loved it all. That's what's coming up. Eddie is facing Moose, the current Impact champion, at Turning Point on the 20th of November on Impact Plus. It is a pay-per-view, and you can get it on Impact Plus. Please do support those guys and watch it there rather than anywhere else you might be able to find it, because we don't like to condone that stuff. Before we do get into the interview, though, I am going to ask you all to do me an absolute solid, because something I noticed when I did take a little bit of a break was people were still watching, people were still subscribing, and people were still liking and commenting the stuff that we are doing, and that's awesome. That is what I'm trying to build here. It's what Nerdly wants to do. It's what we all want to do with the website and with the channel. So please do hit that subscribe, hit that like button, and ding the notification bell. The notification bell will let you know whenever I drop a new episode, whether it's a review, an interview, or I think we're looking at doing some sort of Nerdly news. Still workshopping that title, but I'm thinking about doing that and getting into that. There's going to be way more wrestling content. I have got another interview lined up. It's an absolute banger. I've been sitting on it for about a week now with director Phil Barantini. This is a director that I am wholeheartedly in on his career. And recently he made a movie which was a one-shot movie, which, if you don't know, I don't want to patronize people, but if you don't know, a one-shot movie is literally just that. They shoot the entire movie in one take. This one stars Stephen Graham, and if you know me and if you've listened to the channel, if you've been on the channel, I'm a massive Stephen Graham fan. So anything that guy makes, I will watch, except for The Virtues. I still haven't watched that yet. I'm just not in the right headspace for that one. But I will watch it, Mr. Graham. It is going to happen. So that interview is coming up as well. And of course, I will be reviewing the movie Boiling Point, which that interview is all about. You've done all those wonderful things. You've liked, you've subscribed, you've done everything like that. So I guess we should just roll into the interview with Eddie Edwards, who is going to be winning the Impact title at Turning Point November 20th. You heard it here first, people. Of course, that's not an exclusive. That's not a spoiler. That's just me hoping. Come on, Eddie. You can do it. You can do it, man. I mean, come on. Let's do this.
And now, our feature presentation.
Impact fans, this is awesome. Nerdly Out Loud have scored a little bit of a coup tonight. We are talking with a bona fide legend, the man, the myth, that is Eddie Edwards. We're fresh off the back of the announcement that you're going to be taking on Moose at Turning Point on the 20th of November. So this is like ripping open old wounds from 2018, 2019. This is awesome, man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're still fresh wounds. I wouldn't even call them old at this point. They stay fresh. They stay fresh, man. But thanks for having me. I'm happy to talk to you.
It's awesome, man. So how are you doing tonight anyway? How are you keeping tonight before we get into this? You all good? Keeping safe?
I'm doing well, man. Healthy enough. Just at this point, looking forward to next week. Next weekend. Excited to do it. Do it one more time with Moose. Excited to do it in front of the fans. Try to win that title.
First of all, because I was a little bit peeved at the end of Bound for Glory, and obviously with Moose capitalizing on the call your shot. And what were your feelings on the derailment of Josh Alexander and his big moment in the ring?
It's I can see both sides. Obviously I understand. Josh, the journey that he's been on throughout his career, not just in Impact, but through his life and in his career in general, to get a moment like that and to win the world title and to have it cut short like that stings. That's something that you do work your whole life for. And to have that, especially, obviously in front of your family and friends and everybody in the building and so many people rooting for that moment, and to have it ripped away by, the likes of Moose is, it sucks. It sucks. I know that. And then, to play devil's advocate here, he called a shot. He was, if you want to get the wrestling world talking, that was one way to do it. He went out there and he did what he wanted to do, and he is the Impact World Champion right now.
And let's be honest, as a former call your shot gauntlet winner, you know how that situation is.
Yes, I do. I wasn't able to capitalize the way he did, so more power to him.
But we got to see an absolutely hellacious fight, and this was to get you to that match against Moose versus Cardona and Morrissey, and or should I say, it was basically you and Cardona versus Morrissey towards the end of it. How was that matchup, and how does that prepare you to take on someone like Moose?
I mean, the likes of W. Morrissey have never been seen before in the world of professional wrestling, especially in Impact Wrestling. You talk about a guy who has absolutely stepped his game up and delivered, every step of the way. W. Morrissey came in and he's been on a tear ever since. So obviously being in the ring with him, it's tough to do anything to a man like that. The size and the strength of him, it's, forget about it. So wrestling him, it does help me prepare for Moose, just because, Moose, before W. Morrissey walks through that door, Moose is, maybe the biggest guy on the roster at that point. So, it's kind of like, if I'm standing in the on deck circle for baseball, I'm swinging with the donut on it. It's a little bit heavier, and now I get to jump in there with Moose, and hey, I'm ready to throw Moose around at this point.
Yeah, man. And let's be honest, over the years, I mean, your technical ability cannot be denied in the ring. Technically, you're just a phenomenal athlete in that ring. And over the past few years, you've sort of moved into a more kind of hardcore style. And one of the things I did want to ask about that after watching you through the years is, what was the switch? What made that switch for you to go a little bit more hardcore? I know you still do the technical, but what was the catalyst on that?
You know what? If you get hit in the face with a baseball bat, you'll know what the switch is. That's what it was. There was, that moment, everything changed. Honestly, it changed my career. It changed me. It changed me as a person at that point. It changed, everything I do. I still go back to the moment. I can still feel that moment. I see it. I still can feel it when it happens. Like, that changed the course, the course of history for myself. And, at that point, it was obviously to get my hands on Sami Callihan. I, stink to the levels that Sami Callihan does. And, There's so much, behind that, but there's also so much emotion behind it, so much real emotion where, you know, I remember the 6-man that we had, Impact Zone Orlando, and I have Sammy tied up in the ropes, and I'm hitting him with a kendo stick, his helpless body hitting him with the kendo stick, and the crowd was chanting Eddie, Eddie, and I'm beating the hell out of a guy that can't defend himself. I'm like, you know what, this could be something here, and it was it was kind of like, we were given this situation, this unfortunate situation that happened by, breaking my face. And from that point on, it was like, seems like a natural road to go. And for myself, I've been doing, at this point, I've been wrestling almost 20 years. So it's like, you got to change, you got to adapt, and you got to step outside your comfort zone. And for me, that's what it was. I hadn't really done that stuff. I'd done it here and there, bits and pieces, but it was like, all right, let's step outside the comfort zone. Let's change things up. Let's, refresh and see what happens. And, I'm happy to be where I am because it set me down a different road, but it got me to where I wanted to be, as far as being, in the ring, being comfortable in the ring, being comfortable backstage, being comfortable with everything I do. I am more comfortable than I've ever been, and it's because of the journey that I've taken. And I know, and at this point, it's like, it's a mix of everything. I can mix that technical stuff. I can, do the hardcore stuff. I can, do the strong style, whatever it is. I'm proud to say that I can go out there and I can do it. And I know I can do it. I've done it, at main event level for a while. So I'm happy to do that.
That's awesome. And talking about main event level, I mean, across brands, you Ring of Honor Triple Crown, the Impact Triple Crown, you've won it all, you've done it all, tag team champions across brands. What's over your history as a wrestler? What has been some of your favorite moments or favorite feuds? And is there anyone right now in Impact that obviously when you win the title of Moose on the 20th, is there anybody that you're looking forward to going up against?
For special moments in my career and feuds, it's those big matches, of course. It's those big moments where, I feel throughout my career, I've been the underdog, and I love that. I appreciate being the underdog, and I love being the underdog in any situation. And you go back to Ring of Honor, where I got to wrestle one of my best friends, Roderick Strong, and win the world title from Roderick Strong. That moment in a Manhattan ballroom, again, it's like I can still close my eyes and I can still hear it. I can still feel, the building buzzing. And it was a moment I got to share with one of my great friends. And again, I went in there as an underdog, and nobody thought I was going to win. And I won the match, and, the crowd, reacts. And it was a very special moment. It's moments like that. It's, of course, the moment beating Bobby Lashley. Again, talk about it being an underdog. Going there against Bobby Lashley. I mean, Morrissey would be an underdog in that situation.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
You go out there, and I was able to, again, a moment that people didn't think was going to happen. And there was times in my career I didn't think that was going to happen, and it did. And again, it sent me down this road that I've been on ever since. To be able to beat the likes of Bobby Lashley, to win my first TNA world title, it was, again, remarkable.
Class.
And I got one more is, Pro Wrestling Noah in Japan. I'm the only foreign GHC heavyweight champion, and it's people who don't know my history, people who do know my history. It's I trained over there as basically as a young boy style. I was a trainee there, and I went through the dojo system, and again, something that I never thought when I first started training there. I didn't know if I was going to survive, never, let alone win the heavyweight championship down the road. The same title that was held by Misawa, Kobashi, Akiyama, Takayama, Taue, all these guys, and now I get to put my name on the list. It's pretty surreal to think about. It really is.
I mean, there's definitely easier ways to cut your teeth, I'll say. Current events and everything with Ring of Honor supposedly going on to a little bit of a sabbatical till April. Is there anybody there right now that, obviously the Forbidden Door is a big thing, that you could see coming over to Impact, and Impact could see some benefit from it?
I think there's definitely a lot of guys and girls in that locker room who would come to Impact and really deliver and really do something special. I tend to go for my friends. Matt Taven, a fellow Bostonian, who I've known for a long time. He's one of my good friends, and I've seen him cut through the Indies, cut his season in the Indies, and struggle and try to get to where he is. And then, he's in Madison Square Garden, winning the ROH World Title. I feel like he could bring something special to Impact Wrestling, and I'd be happy to welcome him as well.
And Impact is going through an amazing resurgence right now. It's a great time to be a wrestler. The wrestling landscape is fantastic. On a personal level, how do you feel about the landscape of wrestling right now, but also the fact that Impact has benefited a little bit, and it's having this resurgence, long overdue, because even the in-between years, I still feel as a wrestling fan were good years. Not everybody would say that, but I do. But how do you feel personally on that level as a wrestler, and also for the brand?
It's awesome to see. As you said, there are some down years where whatever. For a while, there's a negative connotation as far as Impact Wrestling goes, and it wasn't a destination. And I'm happy, and I love to see now Impact Wrestling is a place where people want to come, where wrestlers want to come to Impact Wrestling. And it's great to see, and it's great to hear, anytime people come in and, you hear through the grapevine, they've been telling, other people and, other guys that I know, and you hear, through the grapevine about the time that they had and how they love being in Impact Wrestling. That's something I take absolute pride in. I've been a part of Impact for, 8 years at this point, almost 8 years at this point. And, there's been ups and downs and there's been struggles, but it's all to let us again to this point. And, at this point, the roster, the front office, production, everything, we're all on the same page, and it's all moving forward. And, when the change first happened, it was like, we know it's not going to happen overnight. We have to struggle. We have to fight our way to become a destination, fight our way to help put Impact Wrestling at the forefront of pro wrestling in general. And it's amazing to see it. It's great to see, the Forbidden Door and all this stuff, whatever. It's great to see companies work together, from New Japan, AEW, AAA, whatever. To see companies working cohesively, it's something I've never seen in my life in wrestling. It's always been, us versus them, or these guys versus these guys. It's nice to see, let's just do it for the good of pro wrestling. And I think everybody is benefiting from it, from the fans to the wrestlers to each one of the companies. It's a great time. That's why, it is unfortunate in such a good time, a positive time for wrestling, for, Ring of Honor to kind of go on the sabbatical, which hopefully, they come back and they're better than ever. Fingers crossed for that. But, aside from that, it is a good time for pro wrestling.
And speaking of cohesion, I've got a few friends out there who would not be happy if I didn't ask this question, because someone you have been very cohesive with over the years has made a little bit of a return to MLW. Is there a chance we're going to see a return of the American Wolves and get another run at the tag champions, or is there a chance we'll see this?
Pro wrestling, especially, this year, this day and age, you never know what's going to happen. We recently tagged, an independent show, Wrestling Revolver, and we're tag team champions there. We're, we got back in the ring together, and the chemistry was, we didn't miss a step. It was like, we never took time off. It's like we never stopped doing it. And I'm happy to see Davey back doing what he's doing, and wrestling. Who knows what's going to happen, but I'm up for it. Anytime I'm up for it. Who knows what's going to happen? Never say never.
be awesome to see you again. It'd be awesome to see you again. So the 20th of November, you are up against Moose at Turning Point. It's going to be on Impact Plus for people to catch it. What's the game plan for whooping this guy's ass?
That is the game plan. Whoop his ass. I mean, there's a lot of history between me and Moose, both professionally and personally. There is a lot of history between us. And I'd be crazy to deny the fact. Anybody would be deny the fact that Moose's evolution has been it's been next level. Forget it. Like from the first day he walked in to the impact zone during my match, as a matter of fact, he walked out. I've seen him grow. I've seen him, want and fight for what he wanted, and to get to that point where he is the world champion. It's nice. I mean, nice. I don't know. It's nice to see. I guess it is cool to see. It's cool to see those dreams come true. Where guys, he left his job in the NFL to become a pro wrestler, to be a world champion, and he was able to do it. And now I'm able to add him as one of the shortest reigning champions of all time. That is my goal. That is my goal. Strategy. It's a main event. It's Turning Point. It's Las Vegas. It's like, let's go out there. I'm gonna leave it all out there. We're get a little crazy. We'll get a little nuts. Who knows? You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking forward to going out there in the main event and trying to win that world title for the third time, man. That is my strategy, and that's my goal.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I got one last question. I want to wrap this up because me personally, I could never work in the same company as my wife, let alone the same office as my wife. And you want to talk about tag teams? You've tagged a couple of times with Alicia. It's what's it like having her in Impact with you and tagging in the ring with her? And is there an element of reservation when you're in the ring together, or is it just another day at the office?
At first, you never know how it's going to go. Like when she first signed on to be a part of Impact, it was obviously a great moment, and we're excited for it. But then you get down to the nitty gritty, and it's like, all right, well, our whole time together, I would travel, she would travel. We kind of do our separate things, and we'd have our time at home, and we get to go away, we wrestle, whatever, come back home and be back home. But it's like, all right, well, now 24/7, 365 for the most part, we're going to be working together and traveling together, and you never know how it's going to go. But I mean, it couldn't have gone better. It couldn't be better. It's like, it's nice to have a partner to do it with. It's nice to somebody else to wake up with me at 4 a.m. to go to the airport, and travel all day together. And then, I also get to see firsthand her growth and how far she's come, in wrestling and at Impact, of course. And it's great to see her, her spot in the locker room. It's great to see, the friendships and the respect that she has for others and others have her. And it's great to see what she's able to do in the ring. And it's fun to go out there and tag together. And of course, you don't want anything to happen to anybody, but I'm confident in what she does. She's confident in what I do. So it's like, we both want to go out there. We want to do what we can to put on the best match that we can. And we're both confident in what we're both able to do together. And it's fun to go out there and kind of create moments that not many couples get to create. Exactly. We get to, hey, well, we're going to go out there and we're going to beat the hell out of this guy with kendo sticks together. Is that cool, honey? Is that a nice Saturday night together? And we're able to do that. It's pretty cool to do, man. It's nice to be a part of, nice to be able to watch it all unfold.
I have to say that sounds awesome because my Saturday nights are pretty boring. So,
hey, I also welcome a boring Saturday and Friday night. Believe me, I welcome that as well. I think one of the best things about us together, and that one of the things I love about us is like, when we travel and we work, it's work. We're working. We're going to do it. We love it. We're going to enjoy it. but when we get home, we're home. You know, we want to be home together. We're home with our daughter. We're spending time together. That's what makes it all worth it. It's like we get to go away. We get to do this crazy thing, live this crazy life together, and then you know we get to land back home and we have to go pick our daughter up from school. It's like this is, you know, I love the mix of it. I love doing it together and love being the whole journey of it together.
Well, maybe I should get my wife a job where I work. Then I might try that next time. So
pick up a couple kendo sticks. Just, you know, see what's going on. Let's see what's happening.
We've got the kendo sticks. We just don't take them to work.
Okay. All right.
right, Eddie. So massive good luck at Turning Point. I can't wait to see this matchup. It's a funny one because when Moose puts out sort of the open challenge and everything, you do wonder who that guy's going to be, and logically you're sort of looking towards Morrissey, but when you look at the history that you guys have had, this is going to be a hell of a match, and I truly can't wait to watch it, and I don't know, maybe get the wife down to knock some lumps out of him too.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I think it's going to be a good time. You know, Turning Point in general, pay-per-views for Impact Wrestling mean so much to us, you know, or for the roster to go out there and it's like, you know, there's another chance for us to go out there and show the world what Impact Wrestling is all about. And I can't wait for it.
Well, as a long-term fan, you guys are killing it right now, and it's amazing to see the trajectory you're on, and it can only go better. It can only get better.
Hey, fingers crossed, man, and thank you. Thanks for the support. It really means a lot, man. And thank you for your time and taking a minute to chat with me.
Everybody, go and watch Eddie whoop Moose's ass on the 20th.
That's the goal, my friend. Thank you very much.
So yes, once again, before I let you go, I am going to ask you to do all those wonderful things, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It will let you know when I drop an episode. I've got loads more in coming. I have actually been watching a ton of movies. The Romford Film Festival is coming at the start of next year, so I've been watching all those short movies, and just a little exclusive for you guys, I will probably, definitely, absolutely be going down to Romford next year to do my content down there. I'll be doing interviews from the festival. I can't wait for that. That's going to be absolutely awesome. But in the meantime, you will get more Romford content on the channel. And there's more Impact content coming. I absolutely love it. These guys are all people I've been watching for years, and I love what Impact are doing right now. They are killing it on a weekly, monthly basis. So again, like I say, it is going to be on Impact Plus, which is a pay-per-view, which means you will have to give them some doubloons. Please do give them those doubloons. They deserve it. They are putting out amazing, stellar content. So I'm going to go. Please support them. Please support us. And I will see you on the next video. Depending on what comes next, it should be Phil Barantini's interview about Boiling Point, the Stephen Graham one-take movie, which I loved. And I've got loads more reviews and interviews incoming. So I'm going to go now because I'm just waffling on.